Welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, where we talk about all things black and gold, all things Pittsburgh Steelers for you, the Steelers fans, because Mark and I, we are true black and gold devotees. We are true Steelers fans. I'm your co-host, Pittsburgh Owen, your voice from across the pond, speaking to you here in the United Kingdom. Now, guys, remember, if you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like for me, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any quality content from the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate that Mark and I put out. Guys, our future franchise quarterback, and I'm going to be optimistic here, our future franchise quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is big news, guys, at the moment. He seems to be constantly in the news for one thing or another. First of all, this week, the first thing he's been in the news for, guys, was the comparison with Joe Burrow. Now, I was going to do a slide for that, but I just couldn't bring myself to actually have a picture of Joe Burrow on this channel. I just can't stand the guy. So I didn't want to do that. So LaShawn McCoy and several others, including a quarterback coach who is a major quarterback guru whose name escapes me at the moment, said that they don't see any difference in terms of the mobility, the way they read the field, the way they throw the ball, the types of passes they can throw between Joe Burrow and Kenny Pickett. Now, I'm not a big fan of Joe Burrow, obviously, because he plays for the Bengals, but you've got to admit that he is a good quarterback. Oh, that was harsh, man. That was hard. That hurt there saying that, but I had to say it. So if we can get Kenny Pickett to be as good as Joe Burrow, we are getting an amazing quarterback. So that's the first reason he's been in the news this week, the comparison with Joe Burrow that many NFL analysts have actually backed up and supported. So for all those naysayers out there saying that he's more like Andy Dalton, you don't know what you're talking about, guys. He's more Joe Burrow than Andy Dalton. He's not the Red Rifle. Now, what else has he been in the news for this week? Well, he appeared on the Pat McAfee show and talked about a number of different things. So first of all, he talked about his two gloves, Kenny two gloves. Why does he wear two gloves when playing quarterback? Why has he got a glove on both hands, his throwing hand and his non-throwing hand? Now, most NFL quarterbacks who wear gloves wear it on their throwing hand only. They don't wear it on their non-throwing hand. They may do when it gets colder, but majority of the time they do not wear more than one glove. But why does Kenny Pickett wear two gloves? Why is he Kenny Two Gloves? Let's hope that nickname doesn't stick because it's an awful nickname. Well, this is what he said to Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show. He said, I did it once my sophomore year, but really after that North Carolina game you called, I stuck with it after that game. So when they played North Carolina, when the University of Pittsburgh, Pitt Panthers, played the North Carolina Tar Heels in a windy, wet night in November, Pickett wore two gloves to keep his hands dry, keep his hands warm for throwing the ball, and had massive success that night. He threw for 359 yards, including one 74-yard touchdown pass. He even ran in two scores in a 34-27 Pitt victory over North Carolina. So a good, real good start for Kenny Pickett. So that's why he felt good after that, and he just stuck with it. It's like a superstitious thing, isn't it? A lot of people, we stick with things that when something goes well for us, we think, oh, I wonder what made it go well for us. Oh, it was wearing two gloves, so I'm going to carry on doing that. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just surmising here what he might have done. Why else has Kenny been in the news? Well, also in that Pat McAfee interview, he talked about mobile quarterbacks. He talked about the fact that the Matt Canada system, he feels, will give him the best chance to showcase his mobility. He feels that Matt Canada will want his mobility to come through and be shown in the way that the system works, in the same way that he believes that if Trubisky is the starter, that Trubisky's mobility will be shown in the Canada system, that the Canada system will rely on that mobility. I mean, certainly the Steelers' top brass made it of no secret that the replacement for Ben Roethlisberger needed to be a mobile quarterback. Last year, when they were talking about who they was going to replace Ben Roethlisberger, they talked about the need for a mobile quarterback. That was Coach Tomlin, that was Kevin Colbert, Art Rooney II. They all spoke about that need for a mobile quarterback. Never once noticeably mentioning Mason Rudolph in that conversation. That's for another day. So Mason Rudolph, let's not talk about him. Kenny Pickett is a mobile quarterback. He has great mobility, and one of his real star qualities is the fact that when he runs and he's on the move, he doesn't lose any of his accuracy in his throw. He's able to run and throw with the same accuracy as if he was stood still in the pocket. And that's something that makes Kenny Pickett stand out in this year's quarterback draft class. Remember as well that fake slide from the ACC title game against Wake Forest, really showing off his mobility when he ran all those yards for that touchdown, faking the Wake Forest defense out with that fake slide that has now been made illegal by the NCAA. Whether it's illegal or not in the NFL is another matter. But when Coach Tomlin, I remember being asked about it, said that Kenny better get his backside on the ground for fear of getting his head smashed off, I'd imagine, by one or two angry linebackers or angry safeties in the NFL who certainly wouldn't fall for it the way a collegiate defender would fall for it. So that's another reason. Also about athletic quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett went on to say this. He said, "It's an aspect of my game that I'm excited to show," said Pickett, whose infamous fake slide in Pitt's win over Wake Forest in last year's ACC title game led to the creation of a new NCAA rule. "I think the game's kind of changed. You look around the league, a lot of guys are athletic and they extend plays, and that's how a lot of big plays happen. Coach Whipple really helped my game keep my eyes down the field and finding receivers and making big time plays. So that's something I think I'll definitely use in Coach Canada's offense. And he naturally kind of integrates it with how he moves the great things. It's moves. It's great things I'm expecting. So I'm excited to kind of show this off at the camp." So he's obviously talking ahead there about Latrobe, about St. Vincent College, and showing off those talents, the ability to be able to throw on the move that he has got. So why else is he in the news? Well, another thing that he came out with in the Pat McAfee interview was the fact that he spoke about the fact that he was using NFL balls as part of his game preparation during his time in his last year at Pitt. He knew that he would have to make the transition from the college ball, which is different to the NFL ball in terms of size, for example. So therefore, he started to use the NFL ball a good few times during training sessions to improve his ability with the NFL ball. So all those people out there saying, "Oh, he's got too little hands to hold the ball, he's going to struggle to throw it, and he struggles throwing it." Guys, you don't know what you're talking about. You listen to people who actually watch Steelers practice, OTAs, mini camps. Guys like Chris Carter, guys like Jenna Harner, Wes Euler, my good mate Wes Euler, Arthur Motes, people who are well-known Steelers insiders. Arthur Motes is an ex-player, for goodness sake, and they don't say anything about Kenny Pickett struggling to hold the bigger NFL ball. They just talk about how good he looks, Mark Caboli, how he talk about how he looked a natural at practice, how he threw the ball really well. Guys, I trust these guys. They're insiders. Chris Carter, Wes Euler, people like that, I trust with what they're telling me. Why else is he in the news? Well, on a side note, jersey sales, guys, that's another reason he's in the news. So the NFL today, this week, released their top 10 best-selling jerseys of 2022 so far. No surprise, really, that Russell Wilson may be at number one because he's obviously gone to the Broncos, a new team, very popular guy, big sales. Josh Allen, Bills Mafia, very solid, very big. Devontae Adams gone to a big market in Las Vegas, and again, another new team. And the Raiders are quite a big, popular team. Kenny Pickett, though, is at number 4, outselling Tom Brady, Mac Jones, Cooper Kupp, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow. So his jersey sales are taking off, guys. Steeler Nation is bringing Kenny Pickett to their hearts, buying his jerseys and showing off the love for our future franchise quarterback, Mr. Kenny Pickett. How good do those shirts look, guys? I think I might have to get myself one. I think I might go for the black one. The white one gets dirty too easy. So, guys, Kenny Pickett is big news. I, for one, think he is right in there in the competition to be our QB1 at the start of the season. If it was me there, being the coach, I'd rather have Pickett or Trubisky under center this coming season than anyone else. I really do believe that those two guys give us the best chance of qualifying for the playoffs and winning a playoff game. Pickett or Trubisky, I honestly think will help the Pittsburgh Steelers win a playoff game and even perhaps win a divisional round game and get to an AFC championship this year. That's how much faith I have in these two guys, especially Pickett, who I think has got a lot of positives, a great skill set, and a lot going for him. So, guys, Kenny Pickett is big news. Remember that, guys. Remember where you heard it first here on the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Remember what I predicted he's going to do as well. And guys, remember, if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Come and join the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Thanks for listening, guys. And let's finish this as we do with Here We Go, Steelers.